Good morning, St. Columbus. Like many of you, this Thanksgiving will be a bit different for our household than we imagined. Normally at this time, we would be getting ready to head to the Southwest for Thanksgiving with my family. We would be looking forward to the hecticness of my brothers and their households and our household, all under the same roof. The late night chats, laughing, and discussing current national, local, and personal news. We would be choosing which recipe we were going to use to wow the rest of the family with, secretly, or maybe not so secretly, planning to out-wow every other dish on the table. We would be getting in touch with all of my cousins to make sure that they and their families would be coming to the annual tamale making party the day after Thanksgiving. We would be so excited to be able to introduce our son to the family in person for the first time. Home for the holidays looks, feels, and is a little different than we imagined. In his letter to the Ephesians, Paul prays that Christ, who is already living in their hearts, might dwell, abide, settle down, and be at home in their hearts. Paul prays that the early Christians might make their hearts a home for Jesus. Have I? Have I made a home for Jesus in my heart? Does it need a bit of repair or upkeep? Francis Dixon suggested that we might think of this with the following questions. If Christ comes to my home, how should I treat him? Have I given him a warm welcome? Have I given him the freedom of action to inform and transform my heart and how I live God's love without reservation, without closing doors or making them private? Have I given him the best of what I have, the best of my time, my gifts, talents, and love? Have I made a home in my heart that is free of jealousy, dishonesty, and secrets that keep me from experiencing all that God has to offer? Do I treat him like a family member or a guest? Do I expect him to leave after a certain amount of time, or do I welcome the nurturing of our relationship? Do I include him in the late night chats, the joy, the wonder, and the fulfilling conversation that fills my heart and soul? More, have I allowed him to make the transition from guest to host? Dixon notes that just as he did at the wedding of Cana, Jesus comes into our hearts as a guest and becomes the host. When I plead for Jesus to take the wheel, which I definitely have in the last few months, do I really mean it? Do I allow myself to get out of that driver's seat and trust that I will lead and I will be guided to a life of light, love, and resurrection? Friends, this Thanksgiving is different. This Thanksgiving, I will work on making my heart a home for Jesus. I will look forward to remembering how to engage in conversation with Jesus, to share my fears, my thanksgivings, my joys, and yes, laughter. I will look for which recipes will help to nurture our relationship. Perhaps a pinch of prayer, a dash of stillness, and a sprinkle of thanksgiving. I will get in touch with the good news by making the time to spend with the gospel. We will dedicate time to introduce our son to prayer and conversation with God by creating routines that we will use as a place of refuge and unabiding love. Our Thanksgiving will be different than we expected, and friends, it's going to be okay. I'm wishing you and yours a healthy, warm, and joyous Thanksgiving.